Welcome back everyone to another episode of Mario Kart Tour. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's episode, I'll be taking a look at the ranked results for week 1 of the Piranha Plant Tour. And then we'll turn our sights to week 2. There's going to be a new pipe, a new ranked mode, and then of course a new tour preview on the horizon. We'll discuss some of our thoughts and the implications for how you might want to approach week 2. If that sounds good with you all, be sure to show your support with the video by leaving a like. Thank you so much, it means the world. So, time to see how the results finished. And here's Lakitu in his summertime getup. I know Justin had made a comment. A lot of the expectations from the fans is that we'll be seeing Peach swimwear as the new driver, but Justin had mentioned perhaps it could be that Lakitu we have seen him in the past few summers. That would be interesting, but we see first place, and that's very good. That means we're in the PD Piranha me suit business. It gets the base points up to 900. Wow. It's remarkable for not having focused on the me racing suits, how we've been able to acquire that many base points just for free. It should give good context for, you know, the different avenues that you can explore with the me racing suits. And let's talk about this. I ended up doing more than needed, as we can see here. So let's talk about this. For Piranha Plant Slide, I ended up not making any investments. I used the Piranha pipes just because I liked the extra size. Probably netted me a few extra coins, but we did have the Green Cat Cruiser, so I was going to be covered either way on that. And I decided to go with the Silver Me Racing suit. The reason being because both he and PD Piranha were level 1. The percentages were in my favor to use the Lucky 7 driver, since the probability of obtaining the Lucky 7 Frenzy is greater at the back of the pack, and it definitely made the grind easier since this was a Lucky 7 and a Coin Frenzy. Pretty good run there, 19,200. There were a couple combo drops, so we could have hit 20k on that, but that's still a very respectable score for a level 1. I spent the most amount of time on Sky Garden T. If those of you who are following my ranked mode live stream on Monday, you would have seen the kind of effort that went into that. We got the lines very good on this with a 2-3-1 setup. The frenzy luck was not cooperating so much, so the peak run here of 20k, that was with a Banana Frenzy and a Coin Frenzy. I tried for 2 hours to get a Dash Ring Frenzy in 4th and 5th place every time, and it took about that entire time just to get a single one, and it wasn't a max score on that. So I moved on then to SNES Choco Island 2T, and I made more moves than I said I was going to make in my reaction video. And the reason for that is because there was a player that I was still unsure about. I had discussed him in my All Clear Pipe video, where it looked like they perhaps could tack on an extra, 1 or 2k if needed. And I wanted to make sure that I could elevate above that point. And I wasn't using any high-end tickets, so 0 high-end tickets were used in this week. And what I ultimately decided was to go with the DK Jumbo over the Birthday Girl, which netted an additional 1.5k extra points approximately. And that was the extra cushion that I needed. I had over 40 Supercart tickets, and I was feeling all of the Double Dash love from this week, because we had King Boo is in ranked mode, we had PD Piranha just entering the game, and I thought the DK Jumbo is an OG of Double Dash. I said it's a Kong theme item, and I haven't really gone all in with regards to the Kong themed carts, because I played my cart strategy more towards overlapping the Kong drivers in addition to the general cart optimization metagame that we discuss regularly on the channel. If you'd like to hear more about it, be sure to subscribe, and it's through my complete series of videos that I describe those moves that you can make. And I would say it was a very good success, because this scored almost 100% on the sheet. It was like 96%, and Lucky 7 Coin Frenzy was going with the extra bot strat, but it wasn't needed because I got the lucky 7 at a point where I couldn't maximize the extra bot. But it was certainly an ideal run as far as I'm concerned. So very pleased by the results on this one, and the high-end ticket stash is still very well secured. So let's now discuss week 2 by looking at this pipe. We have the Lightning Streamliner in the spotlight, a brand new item. Some of you managed to pull it in week 1 as an off-brand spotlight in the standard selection of the carts, but this is the pipe that you want to pull in if you want that cart, and we'll be talking about that. But first, let's take a look at the drivers. Classic Mario has been given away for free multiple times. Mind you, I have Classic Mario, I believe, at level 3, so that means he's been given away 3 times, and the value reflects that status, so there's nothing really special to pick up there. Mario Golf has appeared in optimal combination sizes that are 6 and larger for drivers. So while he does have the Mushroom Cannon skill, which is not a plus special skill, you know, that's not one where if you're looking at performing at peak levels of score are going to help you, but what Mario Golf is extraordinary at is providing course coverage for less tickets than a lot of these superior options that you hear about being the metagame, such as Rosalina Volendam and Yoshi Goldegg. You know, Mario Golf is a coverage superstar as a way of speaking. So, and we can see here the value keeps rolling in. He's had the Coconut Mall, the Baby Park, the Piranha Plant Tour, and this is that midterm value that we really haven't seen carry many drivers forward, because Mario Golf debuted all the way back in LA during the Super Bowl. That was in February of this year. So the fact that he's still getting paywalls shows that he is probably going to be one of the winners in retrospect of this year, compared to the onslaught of new characters that we've had, or at least the new alts for all the various characters that we've seen. So he's a very good one, and if you are looking for optimizing your coverage, he's going to be a player that's probably still not entirely done with the kind of coverage that he's going to ultimately have fleshed out in the end. And then we have Mario SNES, quite an old character and has been featured in a number of pipes. Still has a respectable amount of value, but a good amount of this is Nitro. But Mario SNES is not generally considered in high regard as far as special skill or coverage optimization is concerned. It's really just a cool character. It's probably one of my favorite looking Mario alts. It has that kind of nostalgia going for it, right? And then let's talk about these carts, because that's a little bit more exciting. A lot of folks have a value alert on this because it's thought that since it's the only new cart in a week 2 debut pipe, much like the Tropical Truck last tour, that it's a situation where this is going to receive excess value in relation to other new carts, such as the Piranha pipes of the week 1 pipe spotlight with PD Piranha. And I would caution that, because Nintendo hasn't been following the same precedent as they did in year 2 of the game. There's an influx of more new items being brought in, both through the pipes and through the packs. So there's a lot of bloat and competition with regards to these new buffs, as well as the way how these courses are being filtered in. We're seeing consistency with all the new retros in that they're repeating themselves tour in and tour out. So the early and midterm value is slightly less for these items as they progress than it was looking in year 2, which were being both backfilled onto year 1 courses and being charged up with the brand new paywalls for all the RMX courses that we were seeing in year 2. It's been a little bit different in year 1. I wouldn't say that this has no possibility of being a very strong cart, but the Streamliners don't have a good track record either. And, you know, the conventional mindset might say, well, this is just, you know, 3 old Marios in this pipe, nothing really special, so this surely isn't going to get a lot of pulls on the pipe. And I would caution that line of thinking also, because if we go over to my player stats here, by viewing past tour stats, you know, each tour I don't try to grind for the ACR, and I end up with top 3%. We've talked about it in the comments more at the end of last year when this was a new feature, but we can see, looking at my past tour stats here, it's always plus 3%, right? And also, there is no way that Captain Toad was my most used driver in the Dr. Tour. I don't know about that, but anyway, top 3% of players, and I'm not even grinding for the ACR. So if we're looking at players who finish in the top 1,000 of ACR, that's less than the top 1%, surely. So when we're talking about our community and the folks that we interact with here, most of us are greatly stratified when it comes to our performance. And we have to think about the entire player base, right? Like, who are the other 97%? And they might pull on this pipe just thinking like, wow, Mario's my favorite character, which it is for most of the audience out there, right? And they may have missed opportunities to get these in the past. They might not know that Mario Classic has been a freebie 3 times. If they're not watching this content here, then that kind of information is lost on them, right? And that Mario Golf may be the only one that's of particular interest to them moving forward. So I don't think that just because this has old characters makes it automatically a great card. But I'm saying that the possibility is absolutely there. I just wouldn't waste a bunch of rubies gambling on that sort of thing, right? You know, let the value come to fruition if it in fact does, and then look to obtain it, you know, at a later point in time. Just like the B-Dasher MK2, which has been available in multiple pipes, both as a spotlight and as a non-spotlight. And we can see here that the course coverage is pretty well developed, and actually, as I alluded to in past videos, the B-Dasher MK2 is in the optimal quintet of carts, right? That's 5 carts that you can possess that will provide your account with the maximum amount of coverage. So you would want to pair the B-Dasher MK2 with the Ramby Runner, the Jukebox Buggy, the Yellow Off-Roader, and the Chemex Zoom Broom. Chemex Zoom Broom is a standard high-end. The other ones are pack exclusive and pipe exclusive items thus far. And then we take a look at the 8-bit pipe frame, which debuted alongside Mario SNES. And obviously the value on this is markedly lower, as we can see. All right, so now let's take a look at the ranked courses for this week. So we have Ghost Valley 1, and we can see that PD Piranha's Me Racing suit is in the top shelf here, but the King Boo, so if you invested into King Boo in week 1, it's going to be very well regarded for you here. And then there's also Pinja is in play, regular Ninja Shy Guy, as well as Gold Dry Bones and Samurai Mario as well. So we'd be looking to go with the King Boo if we were going in this week. And then there's the Crawley cart, which is really probably the #1 option here, although we do see the Armored Rider, which is now an optimal combination sizes 7 and larger for carts. So if you are a player on that one, it's starting to really manifest the value and have a seat at the table. And then there's a lot of other options here that have been in past pipes, but the Crawley is a very powerful card. And then there's a myriad of excellent options here. You have the Dream Glider, we have the Strawberry Donut, the Crimson Cream, which is a multi-ranked feature this tour, in addition to different gold gliders, so in recent spotlights as well. But I'd say the best glider of the bunch here is the Strawberry Donut, because this is one that's still seen in optimal glider combinations, even from as a year 1 glider, starting with sizes, you know, in the 6 range. So that's quite extraordinary, and it's still a powerhouse, right? It's one of those spreadsheet warriors. So it will serve you well if you need to invest into something now, but it is a standard high-end, so Perhaps leave yourself some room on that to pull on it and let the value acquire itself naturally. Anyway, let's take a look at Piranha Plant Tour. Me Racing Suit for PD Piranha is now giving us top shelf. We can see Mario Golf is in the mix. Most of you will likely have Volendam if that's one, since it has been released in several pipes at this point. And for the carts, you're going to need one of the new spotlights, whether that be from week 1 or week 2. In addition to that, the spotlights from the last tour, we see the Tuk Tuk vehicle as well as the tropical truck. So, and then all those capsule carts from the Dr. Fest. But the gliders is where things get a little bit slim. There's a pack 8-bit item. If you pulled on the 8-bit glider pipe from a few months ago, you can also have the record setter. But this has phenomenal meta options here. We see the wonderful wings, and the #1 glider in the game is the golden wings right here. So this is one that if you're powered up in, this is the optimal glider, starting from just a single glider all the way up to the maximum combination size. It is quite extraordinary. The modern day equivalent of the original Dragon Wings. So in this case, I'd be stuck with middle shelf here. So this is why I put the focus on week 1. I likely won't be competing in week 2, despite that really strong loadout in Ghost Valley 1RT. And that's because the Ghost Valley 1RT has a lower action count potential relative to these other courses. So it's going to be really tough competition where that's where the majority of my bonus points boost is tied up at. As we can see here, I only have the level 1 Koopa and level 1 Misu here. I'd actually be going with that 3 times freebie Mario Classic. Do have the red B-Dasher, which is nice, and then a super glider here. So there's plenty of free-to-play friendly options on this course. And we also see the Crimson Crane once again. That is one that you can invest into if you're on the wheel chasing ranked results, but I would caution that the Crimson Crane doesn't hold a candle to that of the Strawberry Donut and the Dream Glider in terms of long-term value. So you would be burning up and chewing up those tickets on something that you're likely not going to make use of for a very long time if you invest those into the Crimson Crane. So do be in mind, it's not just about the immediacy of the ranked results. I prove it here on a tourly basis, folks. The progress that you give up now can be obtained later for easier, right? I mean, you've seen, I don't just talk the talk, I also walk the walk here. Anywho, let's check out the shop and fire off a freebie, and then we'll call it a day. How does that sound, everybody? So nothing much going on there. We see I have a high-end glider ticket, that's interesting, as well as the Poison Apple Cart and Ice Mario. So this is a really yucky tier shop, I would say. There's nothing remarkable about that. So let's go into it. We have a Me Racing Suit. I think this is the first time I've had King Bob-omb. At least it is on camera, I do believe. It's in the Ramby Runner, where they're really trying to pull at the heartstrings, right? I don't know. Not for 100 rubies, that's for sure. But, you know, 70 rubies, I've talked with a lot of players that have been invested into the Miis, and mostly just to power them up for the gold and the silver Me Racing Suit, which are the only 2 that are really presenting substantial value at this time. You know, they could, at a later point in time, power up some of the other ones that are being sold in the shop. But I always caution with the cost of entry. I think that's very important for them to set their own economy at. Whether or not they choose to follow that, that's at their own prerogative, right? They could not listen to the cautions and the warnings that I provide, but that's just to their own detriment. You know, people might not understand the angle that I'm coming from, and I really just want to see the game succeed from a multitude of levels, and I want to inform the players of, you know, the kinds of things that the developers are likely looking at. I do not have a source at Nintendo, but I am very familiar with the industry from other AAA games on the platform, and that kind of context does bring forth the perspective that I share with all of you to helping you make these otherwise very difficult choices, right? I mean, it's still difficult even with the additional information, and that's why we listen to each other and we gain valuable insights from one another, and that's what the community here is all about. So I'm very fortunate to have so many of you participating and really helping this community to thrive, and that's what makes the game so enjoyable, right? So here we go. I wasn't eagle-eyeing the totals. I don't think we got Ruby, so I don't know. This one could be a surprise. Okay, Monty Mole. That's kind of cute. Great. Anytime I can pick up a super in these things is a win in my book, because actually that's been my top option on Sky Gardens. On one of the other cups, been using that in Coins of Plenty actually. He's cup boosted since it's the Monty Mole cup for that. Alright, we got the tour gifts, so I'll use the Grand Stars to pick up the rest of them. And here we go, freebie time. Should you folks pull on this pipe? Well, I would say that unless you are a Mario fan that missed out on some of these options, particularly Mario Golf, but also SNES Mario, because he is just a cool customer there. I would caution against pulling specifically for these brand new carts, right? Well, I should say that singularly, brand new cart in the Lightning Streamliner. It does look really cool. It has the potential to get some really neat value down the road, but I wouldn't say that's a foregone conclusion. So use your rubies wisely. The value hasn't manifested quite the way that it was in year 2. So, you know, we have to apply a more cautious approach and see how things develop, because these resources are hard to come by, and it's a resource game, isn't it? So let's go into it. First one up, we have a green pipe. Let's try to get one super out of the bunch. We have the normal. The normal's made a lot of progress in those PD pipe pulls. Don't we know it, right? So the second one is also green. All right, more normal progress. Fantastic. So the other context that I would like to leave you with is that we are going to be getting 2 Mii racing suits in the next tour, and there is a decent chance, at least, that one will be in the Mii racing suit shop and the other one will be a ranked reward. And in which case, you know, if you are going for the one that's a ranked reward, likely is going to help you in week 2 of that tour's ranked mode, then perhaps consider looking at your broader strategy. I do caution against folks just cold sandbagging a week to see what happens, because the kinds of factors that I look at with my account are numerous. It's not just like a get out of jail free card, right? This is something that you have to track for a while with your account's progress and then execute it according to your exact position within the Mario Kart Tour ecosystem. And the best way you can know that is through corresponding with myself and other veteran members in the community. We can help you pinpoint and figure that stuff out so that you can guarantee all your outcomes that you want in Mario Kart Tour. That's what my series of content is all about. So if that kind of thing is of interest and value to you, I would be so grateful if you would subscribe to the channel. So thank you so much for the support, everyone, and I'll be seeing you for those token shop pipe pulls and the new tour preview. Take care, everybody. See ya.